War of the Rohirrim. So the Rohirrim project is moving forward, and we're getting a little bit more of a taste of what will be happening. And some of the cast has finally been announced. Seems like good news. Seems like nothing to worry about. But I will try to be even handed and look at the positives and negatives. The lead actor will be Brian Cox, who has done insane amount of work as a character actor. Can't even begin. He did Hannibal Lecter. People forget that he was actually the original Hannibal Lecter. In Manhunter, he's done the X-Men films. He was in X2, Planet of the Apes, Jason Bourne trilogy. He was really good in that. I really loved him. Though technically he's only in two-thirds. I don't want to ruin it for people. He did a really great performance there as a cynical CIA evil man, profiteering from selling the secrets to all kinds of people. And he's done a lot of, yes, questionable genre work too. So he's done good work and bad work. On the purely aesthetic front, and given his background with Troy and other fantasy films, seems like a perfect fit aesthetically. But politically, this may rile a few people. So now he himself calls himself a socialist. Now, to American ears, that's not clear what that means because socialism in America has been reinterpreted and redefined in all kinds of ways. Are we talking socialism as in hardcore communism, social democracy, market socialism, a lot of different forms of socialism? Leninist socialism? Unclear. But he's definitely not a liberal. He's not like a soft socialist. He's made that very clear. In fact, he had to leave Labour, which is the dominant party in Britain. And he's not the only one, but he's been very critical that Labour has become too soft and too conservative and is not socialist enough. So he's joined this kind of Scottish party, and he's hoping that that is much more faithful to his left wing ideals. Probably will have no influence on the script or the production. Don't know. Maybe, maybe not. And they are doing things to please the fans because we have Miranda Otto, who played Eowyn in the original Lord of the Rings, which I'm a little bit more mixed on. I did like Otto as Eowyn. I have no issue with performance. I mean, again, as a Tolkien expert, I have to tell people that's not really Eowyn in the books. I know people keep fighting me on this, but it's not Eowyn. I don't know why people keep fighting me on this. The text is pretty clear. They totally changed the character. They changed the dialogue. I don't know what people are arguing about, but it's not really Tolkien's Eowyn, but it does seem very pleasing to the fans. I have no major issues with the performance itself, although the way it was structured with the plot felt a little weird. Aragorn possibly having two lovers at the same time didn't quite make a lot of sense. And I don't doubt she's very talented, but would she make sense for this role? Not clear. And they say they're sticking to the canon. How this is going to work with the kind of characters they want in terms of narrating the story from different timelines doesn't seem to make a lot of sense if they're sticking to the canon. But overall, the cast looks very promising and exciting. But will there be the communist feminist politics in it? Well, I find it puzzling that Peter Jackson gets a lot of praise, even though he literally hired two female writers who deliberately injected feminist politics in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and nobody cares or they think it's good. But now everyone thinks it's bad, it's evil, and Rey Skywalker has destroyed all fiction. I don't know. I mean, again, they're promising that they'll stay faithful, and the art looks good, but what do we mean by faithful? As far as I know, Tolkien never signed off on this, so it's unclear what we mean by fidelity or how this is going to stick closer to the text, because again, we just don't have a lot of extensive knowledge about this time period or this particular battle. We're inferring a lot from the text. We do get a few details, but it's really not all that much, so it's unclear what they're going to work with. I mean, do they really have enough material for a whole film? Don't know. I'll wait and see, but it is interesting that the fans seem decidedly more positive on this than the Rings of Power adaptation. And I sure hope it's not for the blatantly racist reasons that, I'll take a white communist over a black hobbit. Because, the black hobbit, the black hobo, he's black. So hopefully there's a more principled reason. Maybe just animated works for Lord of the Rings. That's at least more consistent. And I do agree, like the 1970s version of these characters, animation has clearly advanced far beyond that. But I thought overall they're pretty solid representations for their time period. Is animation the ideal format for Lord of the Rings? Well, we will have to wait and see. But it does confirm something that people were speculating about whether Warner Brothers still has Lord of the Rings. Apparently they do. So a lot of speculation that Warner Brothers lost Lord of the Rings. Nope, they have it. They may have it in limited amounts, but they do still have Lord of the Rings. So we'll have to wait and see if this is one of the very good things that the new regime at Discovery will continue to push forward, or they're going to push out some really cheap, bad adaptations of JRRT.